Today, we're going to be focusing on a wellness routine and what that may look like for anyone that's new to incorporating wellness on their daily practice. Whether you're looking to enhance your physical health, nurture your mental resilience, or simply find a moment of peace in your day, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this journey together, embracing all the possibilities that wellness has to offer. Welcome to another amazing episode of All in Wellness. Today we have an amazing guest with us. Welcome.
So grateful to be here. Thank you.
I would love to have you introduce yourself and
Sure.
tell us a little bit about your background and journey.
Absolutely. Craig Goldberg in Harmony Interactive. I'm a technologist. We're patented inventor. And my role in life is to really teach people about the power of sound and vibration, power of relaxation, teaching people that your downtime is as important as your uptime. And the better we can rest and relax, the stronger we can be when it's time for us to get out there and go, whatever that looks like. Parents, athletes, weekend warriors, professional athletes. I think we all strive for optimal human performance. And what I love about what I know about you and what you do through the work is that it's all about helping people to perform at their best, whatever that is. I think if you asked 100 people if they'd like to be better today than they were yesterday, better tomorrow than they were today, I think 100 rational minds would say, well, yeah, I'd love to do it. We're always striving to move in the right direction, and I want to teach people and show people that they can do it. Take small steps, and there's little things that you can do to make the world a better place and make your world.
I love that. Is there anything you can give someone out there who's maybe just new to the wellness realm of things and any advice you can give them just to start?
Start where you're at. I think it's really easy. I think it's also very unfortunate. This day and age, we have so much information that's available to us. You could sit down and listen to an hour and a half long podcast, and maybe people have listened to your podcast and they just get overwhelmed. And that overwhelm turns into no action whatsoever. Because I got to change my diet. I got to get exercise. I got to get sunshine in the morning. I got to get grounded. I got to, and eventually you just go, tomorrow's going to be the same as today. So I think if there's one piece of advice, especially to somebody who's just getting started out in this space, is you don't need the peptides and the right? Like, start where you're at right now. Assess what you can make better. Assess what's easy and free, because that's an easy place to start versus investing thousands of dollars down the rabbit hole, which all has its value, and all of these technologies and modalities are incredible, mine included. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's one thing you can do differently than you did yesterday? And then repeat that the next day and add something new if you feel like you can add something new without overwhelming yourself into that non-action. And slowly but surely, if you can, let's say you can add every other day, you can add something new to your routine. Well, at the end of a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks or a month, you're going to have a completely different routine than you did when you started. And you're going to be in an exponentially better position than you were when you were there. So instead of trying to change everything overnight, shocking the system, which, by the way, is called for, especially when we get certain diagnoses, certain wake-up calls, all of a sudden you got to change everything. Fantastic. I'm all for it. I want to help people do that. But I think a lot of people get overwhelmed change that they looked by changing everything overnight and shocking not just themselves, but everybody around them. And I think that's probably one of the most important aspects.
I feel like it's a different path for everyone, right? It's not necessarily everyone's wellness routine is going to be the same. What works for someone may not work for someone else, but do you think starting with like a meditation daily? And some people ask, like, how do you meditate? You know, like, there's different ways to just start your frequency for your day.
So there's some really funny memes of two podcasters talking back and forth about the optimal biohacking morning. And they're like, I'm up by 3 a.m. I'm in the ice bath by 3:15. I'm meditating by 3:40. I'm heavily meditated by 3:50. Right? Like, look, there is no perfect routine, in my opinion. It's funny. I have a 5.5-year-old. There's no morning routine. Right? The earlier I try and get up, the earlier she wakes up. So I can't get out of bed until 7 because she sleeps next. So if I get up at 6:40 because I want to have 20 minutes to sit in the sauna and take a shower, as soon as I get out of bed, she's like, "Hi, Dad." Like, what are you doing, Dad? I'm like, I'm going to do a sauna and a shower. Can I get up with you? I wanted to get up before you. You get up in 20 minutes. Can I get up now? So my morning routine is going to be different than everyone's. My morning routine is actually spend as much time as I can with my daughter. I'll give you one more. This is going to shock people as you're watching and as you listen. The first thing I do when I wake up is I look at my phone. They're like, oh no, what are you talking about? No, it increases cortisol spikes when you wake up anyway. It's part of the natural process of week. If I don't touch my phone in the morning, I have teams overseas, 4 different time zones that are working on things the entire night. If I don't touch my phone for an hour and a half after I wake up, I miss their day and I'm 8 hours until their next day starts. That doesn't work.
Right.
So instead, if I take 15 or 20 minutes to scan my inbox, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, all the different places, get them the answers they need so they can finish up their day, I have a much better day. By the way, I have a much more peaceful morning. Then I can spend an hour and a half on myself and my family, and I have my morning routine, the sunlight, the sun exposure, the grounding, sound lounge session, meditation, all the things. So I think people put a lot of pressure on what the ideal morning routine and the ideal evening routine looks like. And the reality is you figure out what works for you, what you need to get in, and where you can get it in, and go for it. Right? My lifestyle today is infinitely different than my lifestyle was 5 years. And it's infinitely different than my lifestyle was going 5 years. So figuring out what works for you might be something you really want to talk to. You want to work with somebody that might be able to give you some advice, or you just got to try, right? Like, see what works for you. Oh, that felt great. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. Oh, you know what? That really felt forced and not so, right? Like, yeah. So putting pressure, I think, on what the ideal morning routine looks like, right? Yourself in trouble, Frank. Find yourself back in zero.
Exactly. People that work with me at Handle 5 stuff game plan that's easy, simple to follow, but tell us a little bit more about what your favorite routine is for wellness or machines or equipment that you have.
It's a good question.
Or maybe when you first got started.
Well, so I'll tell you, just once my day gets started, first of all, I have a puppy for 5 pounds of work. So first thing I do in the morning is I actually get outside and I get my feet in the grass and I get sunshine on my eyeballs. And that, I believe, sets the circadian rhythm. So my morning routine actually starts my evening routine the moment I wake up. From there, I'm drinking 32 ounces of water. If I'm in a fasting week or if I'm in a cleansing week, which I do periodically, sometimes I'll drink salt water, lemon water, there's some activated charcoal in there, but I'm pounding 32 ounces of water with the very least salt. If I'm cleansing, I'll do a full tablespoon of salt, works like a flush. If it's just a normal day, I'm just making sure I'm getting my electrolytes in and I'm replenishing my body's dehydration from the body, especially because I'm in adults. So for me, that's the beginning of my day. The sunshine, the grounding, a few deep breaths outside, watching my pup go to the bathroom, enjoying some peace and quiet, believe it or not, is how I start my day. It's a beautiful backyard. There's waterfalls going on. There's a lot of water elements, salt water, my pool. If I can jump in it and it's summertime, that's the first thing that I do. Frankly, if I can jump in it, get 2 minutes of a cold plunge, I'll do that in the wintertime as well, depending on how I'm feeling, but not every day. And then it's get the family ready, because the best thing that I can do in the morning is to get my family up and out in a stress-free way as possible. My time really doesn't start until my daughter's off to school. I'm fortunate. My wife drops my daughter off to school, and then it's me in the work zone. These days, I've been actually heading right to work because, again, I have teams all over the country. I live on the West Coast. That means by the time I'm at my desk at 8 a.m., I've already missed the morning on the East Coast. So I tend to work for 4 to 6 hours right off the bat. And then my afternoon routine is to rejuvenate on the sound lounge, 22 minutes, which is my technology, sound and vibration, red light therapy, near infrared therapy, get a workout in. Sometimes in the morning, nothing major, 15, 20 minutes, HIIT training, just to get my blood flowing and to activate the body. Do some stretching. I mean, that's my morning. I have a PEMF mat made by Higher Dose. Oh, I'm sorry. I used to have a Higher.
Yes.
I have an Align mat. I love Higher Dose also. I wasn't that impressed with their hardware, to be honest with you. And when I learned a lot more about PEMF, crystal therapy, sourcing, I was introduced to Align mat by 2 of my friends who actually created the company, Melissa and Mike. They are absolutely fantastic. And I love Align mat. They source their crystals. They know exactly where they came from. Quality is top notch, and Higher Dose, great company. I like my Align mat, which is in my bedroom, so I'll hit that if I can. anytime my daughter's watching television, it has to be educational. So if she is in front of the screen on the weekend, she's watching number blocks or something to that effect. And she's usually sitting on a PEMF, crystal daylight, which is awesome. I love infrared sauna. I have one in my bathroom. My evening routine is as often as possible. I get there, then I take my shower, and then I get on the sound lounge. Get that body movement in at night also. Body movement for me, I want to be very clear. I'm not in the gym 3 hours a day. I mean, you can tell probably by looking at me. I'm not in the gym 3 hours a day. But for me, it's about resistance training. So I want to fatigue the muscle. So I'll do as many push-ups as I can, as many sit-ups as I can, as many leg lifts as I can. I'll do a hang, as many pull-ups as I can. It's really, to me, about fatiguing those muscles. So great evening routine for me when I can get after it. My daughter is going to bed maybe with my wife, and I'm not responsible for that. I'll fatigue the muscles, do a sauna, shower, and then do a sound room session. And that, to me, is just the key for how to end the night the right way.
What'd you say has been the best investment for yourself?
It's funny. The easy answer for me is vibroacoustic therapy. It happens to be business. Full disclosure, everybody's going to look and see. Yeah, of course, he's got a vibroacoustics company. It's the best investment. But I got to tell you, and I've said this over and over again, and I will take it to my grave. I secretly push forward this business, which is not easy. I have an amazing team. They're all around us right now. I am the luckiest man on the planet. An amazing business partner, incredible marketing team, incredible manufacturing team, all of it, the best team. And I say that is not lip service. They really are incredible. And being an entrepreneur is, you're getting kicked in the nuts pretty much every day. You have your own business. It's like, okay, cool. What's going to go on today that I need to do it? And I love it, and I will continue to do it. My main driver for why I do what I do, no bullshit, is that I have access to my own technology. I get lit up putting you just experience, right? Like you just got off. Everybody.
Nervous system reset.
But the feedback is phenomenal. The accolades are great. We just qualified on the Inc. 5000 list this year, 2,444, fastest growing company. Companies, thank you very much. Companies doing great. The real driver for me is I have access to a sound mount that I use on a regular basis. When I first got access to this tech 9 years ago, I was on it 3 times a day, 7 days a week. Now, I'm lucky if I get one session in a day, but that session is everything. And if I can be proactive to get that session in every day, I'm feeling like a million. If I can't, it's usually my wife or my father or somebody who's like, how about a sound lounge?
Yes.
And I'm like, you're right.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
that's a nice reflection. You're right. I could totally use that sound lounge. So, look, I love that we're doing red light now, leaving the power of red light. I love my infrared sauna. I love my little workout zone. I've got a decompression table that is to company's chirp. No affiliation whatsoever, but I lay on that almost every day. The sauna was a great investment also. I mean, the longest running study in the biohacking world is a study on sauna and the power of even contrast therapy. So I think that's really powerful too.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? How far we've come. And I feel like in America, we're behind. European hospitals are having a lot of these things in the hospital.
It
just gets my blood boiling.
Yeah, we have a sick care system here in the United States. It's not a healthcare system.
We've done an episode on this.
But that's the thing, right? And how long have you had your wellness studio?
24 years.
Wow. That sounds okay. Way to be ahead of the curve. Okay, so we've been in business for 9. Okay, you have certainly seen this happen, and it's really, I think, over the last 4 years since that pandemic happened in 2020, that we have really seen a renaissance in humans taking personal responsibility for their own life and not assigning that to somebody else, but instead saying, no, I am going to take care of my body. What does my body need? Turns out we need access to sunlight. Turns out we need access to sunlight between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., not the other way around. A dermatologist unfortunately recommended that we should stay out of the sun from 10 to 2. That's actually when you produce vitamin. So we're learning a lot more. And thanks to you, not just your wellness center, but also your podcast, people are getting this information. It's disseminating out to the public, and people are able to learn and recognize what they actually need. And then, of course, companies like In Harmony and many of the other modalities and manufacturers are making products at scale that makes it affordable so that you can have a wellness center in your home or a wellness center in your neighborhood that you can go to get access to all this expensive shit, right? what I usually find is that I can get something in my home, but the wellness center in my neighborhood is going to have the commercial grade machine, the better, right? So we have access to this incredible technology. And what we've watched happen around us is this renaissance of growth, this renaissance of people wanting to take care of themselves and taking responsibility for their own mental or physical well-being. And that's been fun.
Investing in those, I think, and just seeing how much better they can be. And it's unfortunate in our country. It's just people are definitely taking action, being their own advocate for one.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people that aren't.
That's true.
I'm blown away at how just some of the basic things that we know, some of which I've talked about today, folks don't know. And I find myself having this conversation over and over again of like, no, you need sunlight without sunscreen.
It's true.
So my father loves this, has been for, I love the pop. Loves. And when he got to my house, obviously live in Las Vegas, moved into my house July 1st.
Okay.
And I said, Pop, you have permission to sit in the sun. He goes, really? I go, yeah. 2 caveats. Can't wear sunglasses. Can't wear sunscreen. Well, what if I get the mineral stuff? No sunscreen.
We're there.
And not more than 20 minutes.
Right.
Middle of the day, I don't care if you're sweating. You can do 20 minutes in the sun. No sunscreen, no sunglasses. And we started to talk about, obviously, what sunglasses do and what that does to the brain, the melanin in your skin. I started talking about how unhealthy and showing them. It's one thing to make a statement like sunscreen causes cancer. I'm sorry. It's another thing to actually show a lifelong sunscreen wearer what the ingredients are that they're putting on their skin. Forget about the fact that you can't enunciate. Let's look it up. Let's Google it. And then let's look up the source. And then let's look up the impact. Then let's look up the side effects. If it's not something you're going to put in your mouth, don't put it on your skin. And to see the look on my mom's face when she saw some of these ingredients, my God.
And
Shit. That's the sunbow and some of these main.
yes.
The mineral stuff, in my opinion, is just as bad because you're reflecting the sun off the skin. And the sun needs to get into the skin. We are solar beings. We're solar powered. We need access to that, direct or indirect. Even right now, we're sitting in the shade, abundant sunshine. Our skin is picking up. You can see this on video, but you can see the shadow that's being cast on my skin. That means my skin is picking up those solar rays and that radiation, which is a good thing.
In moderation.
Everything in moderation,
Right.
including moderation.
I will. Well,
It's not sun exposure. I think that's one of the ways we get into a lot of trouble is we're sitting in a pool. A lot of these folks don't look that tan.
they don't.
And they're going to spend a lot of time in the sun and they spend a lot of time indoors.
Right.
So I tell people, look, the human body is supposed to spend 85% of its day outside. Most people. If you're not spending 85% of your day outside, you need access to a red light, near infrared, far infrared. You need access to all those things to make up for the fact that you're missing that from the sun and we're solar powered. The problem we run into is you spend 85% of your day inside, 90% inside, and then you go on vacation.
Okay.
And you're like, cool, let's sit by the pool all day, drink alcohol. And that's when you start to control and forget about to start on alcohol and its impact on our physiology.
And I see Midwest, where I'm from, we're actually known for skin cancers, the highest in Midwestern states because of that exact example. They're cooped up in the winter.
Yep.
Second the sun's out, they may go out, get the mail and talk to a neighbor, and all of a sudden they don't put sunscreen on. Or they're just out getting as much as they can to get the vitamin D.
Vitamin D is an interesting thing, especially in Minnesota. Can we talk about vitamin D for a
Sure.
second? So most people don't understand how the body actually makes vitamin D. So I think it's worth sharing. So think of it this way. In order for your body to make vitamin D, you need most of your skin exposed to the sun. So for women, you're talking bikini bottoms and a sports bra. That's that much skin. It cracks me up when I see people posting on Instagram on a hike, and the quote is like, out getting my vitamin D, and they're wearing a full brim hat and long sleeves and no skin exposed. You're not getting any vitamin D. Not getting any vitamin D. Now, here's the other challenge that most people don't realize. Not only do you have to have that much skin exposed, but you also have to have a shadow that is less than 5 feet long. Meaning the sun has to be high enough in the sky that your shadow is less than 5 feet long. Think of the morning hours and the evening hours when the doctors tell us to go get good sunlight, which, by the way, is good for you for different reasons, but not for vitamin D production. The best time for vitamin D production is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. 5-10 minutes is all you need of optimal sun exposure for your body to start producing vitamin D, and it will produce vitamin D for 72 hours after that sun exposure. So believe it or not, the body's really efficient at making its own vitamin D. Unfortunately, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. in Minnesota, in winter months, the sun isn't high enough in the sky for your shadow to be less than 5 feet, even at the height of the afternoon. So unfortunately, anywhere north of really Las Vegas and north, we need to be supplementing vitamin. 5,000 IUs is what I recommend across the board. I'm sure you do too. But a lot of people are really, unfortunate, misunderstood as to how the body makes it. How efficient is it making, having those ideal? I tell my wife, lay out naked all the time. But find some time for you from 10 to 2 to lay outside and get that sun exposure and fire up that vitamin D. But when you're standing up straight, your shadow should be less than 5 feet low. It's the challenge.
Yeah, it's amazing, like, the myths that are out there, right? Like, it's just really, people believe what they hear, too. We need more of this.
It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that I'm not going to share where it comes from or my beliefs around it, but I believe it's designed to harm us, unfortunately.
Capitalism.
At its best.
At its best. Right.
Yeah. I want to sell sunscreen. I want to sell cancer drugs. Yes, it's rough.
Well, thanks for being a part of this podcast.
I am so grateful.
If I have one last question, so
Anything
if
you
you
want.
had your last day on Earth, what advice would you give your family or anyone out there?
Man, last day on Earth. It's actually really simple. Be kind to yourself. Look, if it's the last day, I got 24 hours left. I want to spend that with my family. I want to be surrounded by people that I love. That part, I think, is really easy. The biggest critic, your biggest critic, is right here in between your ears. Nobody beats myself up more than I beat myself up. And I think the running lesson is to be kind to yourself, right? Just give yourself a little bit of grace. Give yourself a little bit of compassion, that you're doing the best you can with the tools that you have. And if you're not, you know that, and go do better next time. Don't beat yourself up on how you performed in the past. Let that shit go. Push forward, being fresh outward, ready to rock and roll, especially if it's the last day of your life. I mean, think about how much you won't sweat if you know in 24 hours, none of it matters.
Right. It's amazing.
Live that every day.
It's so true.
Right?
I just love that.
Oh, wow.
If you could only think that way every day.
That's a nice reminder. I would play this on loop to you.
I like it.
Thank you for this
thank you
impromptu
so much.
recording.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of it. It's my pleasure.
Pleasure.
And until next time, on another great episode.
Thank you.
Wasn't Craig amazing? It's great to hear his insights, and I love how blunt and honest he really was, helping all of us to do things daily, to incorporate some wellness in our routine. And that wraps up another inspiring episode of All in Wellness. Thank you for being a part of our community and for tuning in today. We hope you found valuable insights and encouragement to live your life fully and authentically. Remember, the journey to wellness, gratitude, and embracing your faith is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review